In a NewsNation Network exclusive, Area 51 veterans chosen by the government for top secret work have something in common other than their service. They're now getting sick with serious health issues, tumors, and cancer. Decades ago, these men were hand-picked, and today they still can't talk about their missions out there in the desert. But as they get sicker, the vets tell me the Department of Defense still will not acknowledge their service on the range, keeping them classified and unable to get the critical benefits and care they need. Tonight, we are showing you the evidence of what the government may have known before sending them to the range, and the secret photographs now coming to light for the very first time.
They keep us classified to protect themselves.
A group of Air Force veterans and a DOD contractor say they have been sickened, even disfigured, after being stationed in the desert in the mid-'80s to early '90s.
But I assumed it was safe. They still send people there.
A position of pride becomes a bitter bite of betrayal.
Did you have any idea what you were being exposed to?
None. None of us knew.
Air Force veteran Dave Creet's son, born with a brain tumor.
It's the worst. Those are the most innocent victims.
These veterans say they served at the Nevada Test and Training Range, which encompasses the infamous Area 51, a remote spot that hosted nuclear testing both underground and atmospheric. Since the 1950s, their work so secret there would be no record that the men ever served in the windswept desert.
What was so top secret about this work?
It was the technology behind it. That's what we were there to make sure nobody got.
They still can't talk about most of their work on the range, but the one mission they can now disclose, guarding the F-117 Nighthawk, America's first stealth bomber.
We ended the Cold War, truly.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
The story begins with a reunion barbecue back in 2016 at veteran Dave Creet's Las Vegas home. Air Force buddies who hadn't seen each other in decades make a startling discovery.
So I asked the guys, we're just sitting around drinking beers. I said, you guys, I got this lump on my back. And I don't know, has anybody else got that?
I said, yeah, I had one of those. I had it removed. It was the size of a grapefruit.
6 out of the 8 vets had benign tumors called lipomas. The 7th said, I don't have any, but my son was born with one.
It just kind of confirmed it. There was an issue. Where we were, that's the one common denominator, is we were all there.
Veteran Mike Nemsick has the same tumors starting around his eye, then multiple cancers.
It was to the point where I felt forsaken. I thought, my God has forsaken me.
His 4 bouts with cancer, starting at just 38 years old, have taken a toll. Throat, salivary gland, bladder, and colon.
What was your biggest fear during that period of time?
That I would die and leave a young family without a father, without a provider.
Mike says he feels responsible for the young men he selected for his team, like Bob Morton, who passed away in 2021 of lung cancer. He was 58 years old.
I selected Bob to be a part of my team, and it weighs on my mind if I wouldn't have done that, would he still be here?
A DOD contractor who worked at the base at the same time as these vets sickened.
Yeah, they took his teeth out first because they had to scrape out a lot of cancer.
They had to scrape out a lot of cancer.
2 cancers, 80% of his tongue removed, along with his vocal cords, all of his teeth. He lives on a feeding tube.
I have a feeding tube, but it was worse. I saw friends that A, passed away, B, paralyzed, can't walk, etc. And I'm just blessed.
And before Pop Braswell was a Harlem Globetrotter and a pro golfer, he served.
You know you're handpicked. You know you're the top at the top.
The Air Force vet now fighting thyroid cancer.
I also feel pushed aside. Our government, who has chosen to use national security as their excuse to not take care of the people, to care of them.
The veterans tell NewsNation their medical claims are being denied by Veterans Affairs. The work so top secret, their records are what's called data masked, as if they were never there.
It's like a kick in the gut. It's just a matter of betrayal.
After learning of the serious health conditions his Air Force brothers were suffering from, Dave did some research on the Nevada test site. Hundreds of nuclear weapons tests were conducted in the area from the 50s until the early 90s. In the 1970s, the government began exploring the idea of building a military installation there to house classified projects. A 1975 Department of Defense environmental report of the area acknowledges nuclear contamination, depleted uranium, beryllium, and plutonium present before the men were sent by the government to the range. But the report says, quote, discontinuing the work done would be against the national interest.
It's one thing to be ignorant or to be naive, to not know, but they've understood for a long time.
Dave's discoveries led him to create the Invisible Enemy, an advocacy group where he says he's connected with more than 1,000 veterans who served at the Nevada test site. Hundreds of them report being sick.
Our government knew that that area was contaminated. So knowing that, and they willfully put us there, that's given somebody a death sentence.
The vets are angry and confused that in 2000, Bill Clinton signed the Employees Occupational Illness Compensation Program Act. It provided medical care and compensation for the Department of Energy workers who were sickened from nuclear exposure at that exact same site in the desert, but not veterans or DOD contractors. NewsNation reached out to the Department of Defense for answers. The DOD said they will not comment and referred us to the Air Force. The Air Force said, quote, we don't have any information available from that time frame. We asked our NewsNation medical contributor about the vet's medical conditions. He believes a common exposure is probable.
When you look at the statistics, cancer in this group of subjects is about a 6% type of an occurrence, right? Invasive cancers. It's pretty straightforward that there was a common exposure because the numbers of cancers and the number of illnesses and the number of deaths in this cohort is much, much higher than you'd expect, given just normal circumstances.
Along with the worries of their own health concerns, many of the vets carry something else: guilt. They fear they've exposed their families through contamination brought home on their uniforms, routinely covered in dust from the test site.
We were in the dirt all the time. And I can recall the times where when we'd perspire, that our uniforms would turn kind of a yellowish orange.
You got a barbed wire fence telling you don't go to the other side of this barbed wire fence because it's contaminated. Barbed wire stops a lot of dust in the wind, doesn't it?
Exposure, they fear, may have led to miscarriages, autoimmune conditions, and other diseases in their loved ones.
My mom and dad.
Yeah, I love these photos.
Grandpa, thank you.
Jennifer Page believes she lost her dad and mom far too early after both worked for years on the range.
I sat at her bedside every day, just holding her hand. Why she apologized, crying, I'm sorry I ever worked there. I know that that's what's killing me.
Her mother's dying act to work to declassify images she said would be important in one day unearthing the truth.
And I asked her, I said, Mom, why did you save some documents? And she said, because I always knew I was exposed. She was so young when she started there.
And this is the kind of proof that you're left with, that she actually did show up to that job every single day.
Right, right.
These veterans tell NewsNation these decades later, they are gearing up for a new fight, this time for government transparency.
We did something important. We did good work. We changed things. We don't deserve being ignored by saying we don't exist.
And NewsNation has been searching for answers after the DOD had no comment and the Air Force said they don't have information available for that time frame. We went to the VA, and the VA told us there is no presumption of exposure for these veterans who served at the range. These vets will need to be evaluated on a case-by-case basis to prove that their sickness is related to their service. The vets say this is difficult, if not impossible, when their data remains masked. And time is of the essence. Dave Crete just added the 446th name to their memorial list a couple days ago. He says the average age is 65 years old. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.